Okay. Okay. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome everyone to another episode of Planet Xbox Podcast. We are on episode 65. 65 episodes in. Planet Xbox Podcast. Wednesday, 8:30-ish p.m. So we're still technically on time. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. I am your host, the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and we're ready to get the show rocking. First, I'm going to point to the mic he's going to point his mic to himself. Dope is Jay, man. Shout out to you who just put out a dope video on the recent LG monitor, man. You're going to tell us a little bit more about that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot to talk about with that monitor, but if you guys want to check out my review, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Dope is Jay. It's an excellent review. We covered a lot in that monitor, and there's a lot more we're going to be doing with that review as well. I have a couple of updates I have to post as well, so I do have another video going more in depth with the picture quality settings because that's something that a lot of people want to look at is a lot of the different picture quality options that you have on both the PS5 and Xbox Series X and how it looks in game. My three favorites so far is the HDR effect one, Vivid and FPS. Even though HDR effect is really growing on me right now, it's very, very bright and very vibrant. So that's been pretty cool. But yeah, make sure you guys definitely check that out. That video's been popping off today, so a lot of work put into it.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Subscribe to Dope is Jay. I need to put your YouTube. Yeah, actually, I got to put all you guys' YouTube links in here because before when we started this podcast, not all of you guys had YouTube channels. You guys had just Twitter. So we'll definitely update that. So the links are in the description. That will change soon. Old man Logan with the Twitch t-shirt.
What's it? I wore decided to wear my custom made Twitch shirt today. So I got my little old man logo. It's a great thing about having a neighbor that can custom make, like he owns literally a screen printing factory. So
nice.
But yeah, what's up, guys? Planet Xbox. Not too much to talk about in today with like news and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we can find a decent enough to give you guys a good show. I just kind of to break it up, I guess, a little bit. Kind of some of these stuff that I've been playing is been playing. I actually got into Forza Horizon 4 a little bit more. So I've been playing the hell out of that. I got into the Halo level, and I thought that was like actually really cool to drive around in the Warthog, and it kind of got me amped for obviously Halo Infinite, and booted up Dark Alliance, which I kind of wanted to talk about Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance a little bit because my wife and I put about like 3 hours into that game, and like I just remember like seeing the Metacritic scores and everybody saying it was like garbage and stuff. I had a lot of fun with it, so I don't know if I don't know if I'm playing the same game as other people are playing, but we're excited to get back into it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing: Forza and Dungeons and Dragons and Dead by Daylight, because they put out the I don't know if anybody's fans of Dead by Daylight in here, but they brought the Raccoon City Police Department, which is which the map is disabled right now because it kept on crashing people's systems. So in public play it's disabled, but in custom games you can get it. And then they brought Nemesis from the Resident Evil 3 remake into it as a killer, which is he's a badass to play, and he is terrifying to go up against as a survivor. And every time I go up against him as a survivor, we get our asses smacked left and right. And yeah, so those are about the 3 games in my rotation right now: Forza, Dungeons and Dragons, and Dead by Daylight.
Okay. You know, I could never get into Dead by Daylight or the Friday the 13th games. It's like I don't know.
It's for like if you're playing like the Survivor side. I don't know if you play Survivor or Killer. If you're playing Survivor, it's definitely better to play like with friends, with people that you know, because my wife and I have been playing that game for easily 4 years. Like since it came out on consoles when we first got it. So playing in Killers is just fun, just to smack survivors.
Oh yeah,
right? And like it's kind of got like a sinister feeling to it. But yeah, Dead by Daylight I would highly recommend if you're looking for like a group of 4. If you got a group of 4 people or even 2, just to play with friends.
No, absolutely.
And you could just jump in as a killer anytime you want. So
yeah, dude, there's so many different killers and so many different survivors. They brought so many different they got the silent, like They got Silent Hill's in it, Resident Evil's now in it, Stranger Things, and they've got like their own killers that they've made in it, and then they even
Freddy.
they got Ghostface in it. They got Freddy. It's awesome. I love it.
Michael Myers. Yeah.
Yeah. They got there's literally I want to say 25
Oh, the chick from Saw.
different
Pig.
killers. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, the pig. Yep. Dude, it's just endless. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nick, what you been playing? How you doing?
Oh man! First of all, I bought Risk of Rain on sale. Risk of Rain 2, that is. That's pretty surprisingly good. I went back. You remember I bought the Far Cry 3 remaster. I beat that. Then I moved to Far Cry 4, beat that one, and now I'm on 5. Because when I bought 5, I think I was like, it was a lot out at that point, and I ain't have time for an open world. You know how you can get fatigued of those things, but right now I'm pretty much finishing that up, trying to get ready for 6. You know, yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Wait, so you're playing a bunch of Far Cry games right now?
Yeah,
You're not gonna
tried.
play,
I did try Dark Alliance though. I was surprised by that, but you know, I guess y'all gonna talk about it.
Are you? I was gonna ask, are you not gonna do New Dawn or Primal?
I was thinking about that. Like, is that just a DLC?
I wouldn't consider it. It's a small expansion.
No,
okay.
New Dawn is like a direct sequel to Far Cry 5.
Miles
okay.
Morales.
Like,
Yeah.
and I should say like
I knew you was gonna say that.
like a direct sequel is in like more like it takes like I think 20 years or so after the events of Far Cry 5, but
Yeah.
Because all of them on sale. Everything is on sale right now.
I bought Primal for like $5 because I know that.
Yeah, Primal.
It has
I gotta
FPS
finish
boost,
that.
and I figured it's like
all of them do. Well, no.
all of them but Far Cry 3. All but Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
Far Cry 3 is definitely my favorite one of the Far Cry series.
Yeah, I thought that too until I played 4 again. But go ahead.
Dude, I mean I did not like 4 at all. I couldn't get into it.
Man.
4 is rough.
Yo, you gotta play with that frames per second boost, man. It's different.
Even with the FPS boost, I turned that. I uninstalled that shit right away. I was not.
Man, you crazy.
I was not feeling Far Cry 4.
I overpaid for Far Cry 4. Like I really did. Like but but I bought Primal. Primal is like, you know, I could do it. It's different.
Yeah, it is different.
So I only wanted to play that because I was like, you know what, I will eventually beat this game. But like me and Far Cry games, man, I don't think I've ever finished a Far Cry game.
Yeah, Mr. Assassin's Creed.
I can do it in Assassin's Creed, no problem. Like, but the thing is, but then again, because I try to go back to the pre-RPG Assassin's Creed, like the Rogue Remastered, like I mean, it's cool and whatnot, especially with the FPS boost at 4K and whatnot. But in terms of like gameplay, it's just not sitting with me. Like, for example, I went back to Unity, and it's like I progressed through Unity a little bit, so and that one's is pretty good. But the RPG Assassin's Creed like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, they're just like, yeah, I can burn through those no problem. But the previous games I can't. The Far Cry games I have trouble with. That's why I'm not so high on Far Cry 6. I don't know what it is.
See, like I'm the opposite. I flew through all the older Assassin's Creeds a lot better than I've been struggling to get through the RPG ones. There's just like Odyssey I loved, but then like I didn't like how on the map I just felt like I was way under level for stuff, and I didn't really like there was just so like they've put so much into these games. I'm just like I don't have time for all this. Like Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood were definitely my two favorites of the Assassin's Creed series.
Gotcha.
You'll get to the point where you like level 35, and it's like you got to do all these side missions in order to do the. I was like,
no. Only game that locked you at that point, I think, was Origins, and that's when they first.
That's when they
first put the leveling system up. But Odyssey, they fixed that, and it was like it just scaled.
Oh, they did.
You, yeah. And same with Valhalla. It's like it's more like things just scale with you, and it's easy to skill up. Chris, man, what you been playing? You typically be playing some of the stuff I haven't even heard of. So
No. Well, I beat Far. I was about to say Far Cry. I beat Ratchet and Clank last night, and I thought it was really good, man. I really enjoyed it. I give it about like a 9 out of 10. There's a few issues I had with it, like there was definitely some like repeating bosses and some bugs and stuff like that. But overall, I really thought it was great. I thought Rivet and the new additions like Rivet and Kit were absolutely amazing. I like them better than I like Ratchet and Clank. I'm definitely going for the platinum. I'm like 3 or 4 trophies away. It's a super easy platinum, so it's really not that hard to get. I'm doing New Game Plus on the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and also playing through the entire game again. And then I'm about to start one of the other games of the Kingdom Hearts collection. So, which are all games that Kid Smooth heard of. So I don't even know what he's talking about. But, but other than that, man, there's really nothing that
What's
much
that?
going on this week. Like,
I was gonna ask. Did you play that? Because I know you're big on Sony. Did you play that Guilty Gear? Because I was hearing good things about that.
Oh man,
Did that come out last week?
My bad. I'm getting the game for sure, but it's just bro. It literally like within 24 hours. Integrate Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate came out with the new content, right? The DLC. Ratchet and Clank came out, and then Guilty Gear Strive came out. So I had to make a decision, right? I had to make a decision and shit like that. And it's crazy that all these games came out like within a day of each other and shit. And all of them reviewed well. Like I think Guilty Gear is like at an 88 on Metacritic and shit like that. So I have Guilty Gear XR. But then at the same time, it's like I really love fighting games, but at the same time, it's like, yo, sometimes like you gotta actually like put time into them. Like,
yeah, it's definitely a time investment.
Time into them and shit like that. And Guilty Gear is definitely a very hardcore fighting game series. This new one, from what I'm hearing, it's easier to get into than the previous one. It's not as complex, but it's still Guilty Gear. So there's still a lot of like crazy ass mechanics and stuff like that a lot of newcomers are not gonna really like grasp like that. It's one of those games that it's like it's a little bit easier to get into, but it's like extremely hard to master. But yeah, man, other than that, man, there's not much going on this week. There's a couple conspiracies going on. Crazy ass.
A couple. It's more like one big gigantic one.
Yeah, crazy ass Kojima conspiracies, which are extremely interesting. Like they're very interesting and shit like that. But well, I mean, we'll see what happens and shit like that. But other than that, like there's not really much going on.
Yeah.
So with that being said, speaking of, you mentioned conspiracy. Can somebody round me up on this conspiracy thing that's going on?
We're about to go down this rabbit hole. I'm playing it.
We don't have to spend too much time on it, but
pretty much there's the an indie developer, right? Supposedly an indie developer, who's making a PlayStation 5 exclusive game called Abandon, and it's supposed to be like a realistic survivor horror type of simulator or whatever. And and then like how they announced their games and stuff like that. Like some people have been seeing things to where like there's a lot of clues and hints and stuff like that people are kind of connecting, that people are assuming this is one of these like a Kojima game, right? Like because Kojima has done stuff before to where he announced where there's been a fake studio and they announce a game and then nobody knows who the studio is, nobody know what the game is, and then it turns out to be like Kojima and shit like that. So there's a lot of crazy ass coincidence. I'm not gonna lie. Like for anybody who really like is into this conspiracy and really think like this is like some Kojima and shit like that, when you look at everything, which I'm not gonna explain because there's a lot. But when you look at a lot of things, like I really can't blame a lot of people for seeing it that way. But the only thing that like I'm hesitant about, or the only thing that really kind of like stops me from believing it all the way, is because the developers, right, of this game and stuff like that, they keep coming out and saying we're not connected with Kojima or anything like that. To even where like people were questioning whether this like Hassan Karam dude was actually Kojima, and he had to like actually make a video with himself on camera and saying, "No, I'm not Kojima." He's also talked to a couple people and stuff like that.
And he talked to Jason Schreier.
Yeah, so to me, to me, I see it like this. If it was, I don't think they'll be going so out of their way to say that they're not. I think they'll be more silent about it. They'll be more subtle about it and stuff like that. But at the same time, right, this has happened before. It was like Moby Dick Studios, the Phantom Pain, which was Metal Gear Solid 5 and shit like that. They've said before, it's like, hey, we're not Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know why people are thinking that. They said that shit before. So some people are kind of like, yeah, you're saying this, but honestly, I don't think it is. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. And I kind of feel, I'm pretty sure the studios is stressing right now. If it's not a Kojima game or connection or anything like that. But supposedly there's an app coming out this Friday on the PS5, which is a weird way to reveal a game. They're gonna reveal more about the game, but I don't think they're gonna reveal everything. Yeah, I still think.
I don't think you're gonna know. I think it's gonna be. There's gonna be like, you're gonna have people just sitting there deciphering and looking at these videos and looking at every single frame, because I highly doubt we're getting a clear cut. This is what the game is. This is what the game's gonna be. And stuff like that. Like, I think it's just gonna be, it's gonna give us more questions than it is gonna give us answers, especially with how cryptic they're being right now with it. Like, they're being so cryptic, and I don't think it helps. Like, I think Jeff Keighley keeps on tweeting at like the Konami, was it the the Konami like gift shop, like about like anything like Silent Hill and stuff. So everybody's like sitting here, like, I think like that's even giving it more and more traction that it's something to do with Silent Hill, because Jeff Keighley's talking about that, and apparently Jeff Keighley was going to have like the Hassan guy. He was supposed to be on the Game Fest, but
the Summer Game Fest, which isn't over.
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, Summer Game Fest isn't over. I don't think. I think.
I thought it was.
Shows.
Okay, I thought it was running the same weekend as E3.
The only thing that I found weird, because there's something strange is going on with this game. I don't know if there's anything to do. I mean, it could be a fucking super elaborate hoax or whatever. But the weirdest thing that I found with this game is not only like the initial reveal, right? The very first reveal was revealed on the PlayStation blog, which, you know, this indie studio got priority on the PlayStation blog. But I saw a screenshot of the Hassan dude. Somebody asked him, well, how much the game is cost to make, and he said around $250K, but at the same time the studio's around 50 people. They have a couple of support studios that are outsourced, right? And one of the support studios worked on Death Stranding and stuff like that, and they're talking about photorealistic graphics at 4K 60. That doesn't sound like no $250 budget indie game to me. So that's
especially when you like, if you just look at like,
if
you give like the people's average salary, say of like $40,000 a year, you know, and you times that by 20, you're not, you know,
you're not even that's the only thing that I'm like, I don't know,
especially depending on how many years. But then like the other thing that people are like iffy about is the other thing that kind of throws it for a loop is people are like saying, you know, if this wasn't something, you know, big, you know, why wouldn't Sony come out and just say something about it? Because, you know, kind of like how the developer Twitter handles kind of like handling it a little awkwardly, and a little cheeky and stuff. So I would imagine that if it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, like Sony would be sitting here being like, no, you can't do that. Like you're being associated with our brand, stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, well, maybe it is that, because I would think if it's not that, Sony would come out here and say, you know, look, you're representing our brand right now, and we don't like, you know, how it's going, so shut up. But then at the same time, maybe they have tried to. And I mean, they've put out videos, they've put out statements saying that they're not Silent Hill,
we don't know
Kojima. But then you got like, you just had like the little stuff here, like when they put out the one tweet says, guess what starts with a S and ends with a L, and obviously I think that was the biggest one. And I was like, no, we're not Silent Hill. And it's like, well, then what the hell? I mean, what big thing would be, you know, not Silent Hill with that? With
an S and an L, it's just Silent Hill or Survival,
come on.
Right? Like that's the only other thing. Like Survival would be like the other thing, because that begins with an S and ends with an L. And like, I don't know. It's like, who knows? Maybe Sony has reached out to them like under the table, because Sony doesn't really respond to a lot of things. Like if you notice, they don't really respond to a lot of rumors.
They're not very friendly.
Yeah. They're not. They don't respond to stuff right away and stuff like that. So we don't know if Sony has reached out from the background, maybe you're pressuring them and stuff like that. Maybe that's what made the guy make the video and be like, "Hey guys, this is me, Hassan. We don't got nothing to do with Kojima and stuff like that." So I just hope that.
My thing is, why would they do a front studio? Like, I don't get it. Like,
just real quick on that video, like somebody literally zoomed in on the guy's eye and said, "Look, you can see Kojima." In the reflection.
Yeah, holding a gun to his head.
I'm like, dude, like people are just reaching for any. Or like, look, and then there was even some people that said that the dude was Kojima by the way he smirked and laughed and stuff, and I'm like,
so he used a face change app?
What? That's what I
know.
But even like the voice, I mean, Kojima does not.
Kojima don't speak English well at all.
Yeah, he don't speak English well at all. Like he can, say a couple things here or there, but as in like very fluently speaking English, no, not at all.
And the guy did have he had a Dutch accent, a Dutch accent or whatever. But
how about PlayStation gamers stop reaching for shit that's not there? It's not happening.
It's not even.
I'm sorry,
it's
guys.
Definitely
it's
like
not
PlayStation gamers. There's a lot of even journalists like Jason Schreier, like a lot.
And I understand that, but the community needs to understand that this shit is not happening. Like, I'm sorry, like. I mean, I asked Nick this question on the Xbox Live chat, even in the Twitter shit. Like, when was the last time Kojima made a hit? Why y'all hyping this shit up? I'm not saying that Kojima's trash.
I like Death Stranding,
but like, come on,
people like
Gear Solid 5.
No, to answer quick,
you talking about flop? You talking about Flop Stranding?
What?
Yo, send me my copy back
that I sent you. Studio or whatever, right? Because that's what.
I gotta play that, man.
Well, because Kojima has done that before. He did it with Metal Gear Solid 5. There was a fake studio called Moby Dick Studio. There was a guy named Joaquin, which was like, if you spelled it backwards, it was like Kojima or whatever.
Yeah.
He had an interview with Jeff and everything like that. They came out and denied that they were Metal Gear Solid. And then all of a sudden it was Metal Gear Solid. Another thing Kojima also did was the PT demo, right? It dropped out of nowhere. Nobody knew what it was. It took people a week to figure out the puzzle of that game because there was a lot of things you had to do to get the final reveal trailer of that game. And then after a week, when people figured everything out, it was revealed that it was under a different studio, by the way. Like a PT, when it dropped, it was under a different studio name and everything like that. And then people figured it out that it was Silent Hills and it was Kojima.
Do you think Silent Hills is still gonna happen?
Nah, I wouldn't say Silent
Silent Hills definitely happened because they've been saying it last year. Like even Konami saying last year that there is going to be another Silent Hill that's coming. We just don't know when. We just don't know who's making it. We don't know like what's the extent because there was rumor it might be a PlayStation exclusive or it might be multiplayer or whatever. We don't. There is another Silent Hill games coming. We just don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I never saw the I don't know. I never saw the uber big deal in like Silent Hill. But
man,
Silent Hill 2 is for me personally is the best horror game of all time. For me personally. That game is like the scariest game I ever played and shit like that. Resident Evil destroyed Silent Hill as far as popularity and sales and stuff like that. But Silent Hills 1, 2, and 3 were all really good, right? Especially 2 and 3. Yeah. But after that, it just fucking complete. Like Silent Hill 4, Silent Hill The Room were all fucking trash and shit like that. So Silent Hill,
I didn't mind Origin, like Silent Hill Origins was pretty good for what it was. It was like,
but you also got to remember that this generation, or not this generation, last generation, when it comes to horror games, right? It's been an influx of horror games, but a lot of them have taken the first person route, which has been great, right? Like the Resident Evil 7 and 8, you know what I mean? Were great. I haven't played 8, but I heard it's great. PT was great, or what's the other one? Outlast was great and shit like that. So it's kind of seemed there hasn't been a lot of too many third person horror game, except for like the Evil Within 1 and 2 were like the only ones. So I want like another one like that, like Silent Hill or Dead Space or whatever. So if y'all want to
that's what I'm saying. Yes, because we might. I mean, there's a possibility with EA Play in July that they might be. They're saying they're bringing back some type of stagnant IP, and everybody's like sitting there saying that they're. No.
NBA Live.
Hell no.
No.
That's all they
No.
got.
Nah,
Is
Well,
I'd
everybody's
rather
hoping
be
that
NBA
they
Street
bring
Fighter.
back Dead Space. And dude, if they brought back Dead Space, I'd be like, okay.
what happened to this? Didn't the studio that made Dead Space is gone?
Yeah, well, they're making the Callisto. So Visceral Games is shut down. Yes, they closed back in I want to say 2017.
Yeah,
Visceral Games.
after
They were working on.
Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah,
and-
after they made
Yeah, they made
Battlefield
Battlefield Hardline, but they were working on I believe, open world Star Wars game.
Yeah, they were.
And then EA shut it down because they're like, single player open world games don't make money,
Yeah, with
especially in the
Amy
Star
Hennig.
Wars universe. And then Jedi Fallen Order was one of their biggest selling titles that said, hey, no, that's not true.
That Star Wars
And
game
then-
was 1313 or something like that, or what?
No, 1313 was before Disney bought.
1313 was LucasArts.
Yeah,
Yeah, not yet.
but
It was-
yeah,
it
they
was-
shut
it was
that
with-
down early. So, but Visceral Games is making a spiritual successor to Dead Space called like the
Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, Protocol.
Yeah,
So there is, something around that realms being made. It's just it's not Dead Space, but it's gonna have, it's gonna I don't know, feel like Dead Space or kind of take from Dead Space because it's from the same guys that worked on Dead Space.
yeah, it's from the
yeah,
same
yeah,
developer.
so
Honestly,
why-
I don't know. Like, I don't know what studio EA will have to make a Dead Space now because they.
Well,
shut
that's what
down
there's.
Visceral.
People are saying that Motive, the people that made Star Wars Squadrons, they're the ones that are going to be working on this title. EA Motive.
What about Respawn?
I'm not. I think they helped with. They helped with Battlefront 2,
Yeah,
and then I know Star Wars Squadrons was like they fully did that one.
yeah. They helped with on a flight
not-
for Battlefront 2. They kind of.
Oh, okay. So which would make sense why they made the Squadrons one then,
Yeah.
because they're the ones that did that. But yeah, so apparently it's going to be in their hands, whatever it's going to be.
I don't know. I mean, if we know the team behind Dead Space isn't working on it, why? And Dead Space 3 being notoriously and compared to the other ones trash due to direction, what would be the hype behind EA bringing Dead Space back if it's going to be a completely new different team doing it?
Because if you look at how EA has been recently, back when Dead Space 3 came out, they were all, I mean, mind you, they're still all about microtransactions and stuff. And they're still all about, making that big money, but they're also, I think, a little bit more lenient on realizing that there is single player games and there is money that can be made as long as you put out a quality product. So that's what happened with Dead Space 3. They're like, Dead Space 3 needs, they put out like microtransactions where you had to pay for resources and stuff to upgrade. Like you could have done it naturally through the game, yeah, but you had to buy resources and stuff to upgrade your weapons, and that was filled with microtransactions, as well as the biggest steeple about Dead Space was about being kind of in isolation and alone and dealing with the horrors by yourself, where in Dead Space 3 they kind of forced co-op. I remember I played it by myself, and there's sections in that game that you can't even play if you're playing by yourself because it requires a co-op partner. So they just went
which
really
is dumb
off
for a
with
horror
the
game
direction.
because if you do a co-op for a horror game, it's not really gonna be scary and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't what Dead Space.
And that's what
Dead Space
that's
was
what
all
Dead
about,
Space's
that
steeple
isolation
was,
and
dude.
stuff
I
that,
was
because when Dead Space first came out,
Mhm.
the horror genre was on the downward. Like Resident Evil they were making trash games and shit like that. They were on the downhill and shit like that. But then when Dead Space 1 came out, it brought that shit back. It brought
Dude,
that old
it
school
was
Resident
something
Evil,
different.
Silent Hill, and shit like that. So
And I
and
think-
Dead Space 2 really took it up a notch. And then I don't know what happened with Dead Space 3. EA wanted that shit co-op and some shit like that, because it was around the time where a lot of these single player games were having forced online play, right, with either co-op or multiplayer. Remember when Tomb Raider had that bullshit as multiplayer?
Dude, that multiplayer was terrible.
Still there, Chris? All right, he muted himself.
I might do stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that era was co-op heavy. Think about all the games that came out.
And it's just people are looking at EA was they found a lot of success with Jedi Fallen Order, and I think Jedi Fallen Order was a huge turning step to make for the EA to sit there and say maybe we can do more focus. Also, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which has been an absolute success.
Yeah, very successful.
In the retail. So you got you got two examples right there where EA can say, hey, yeah, we can make money if we put out single player stuff. Not everything has to be multiplayer. And I just think they need to
if
give
anything,
creative
I would
control.
trust like if there's anybody that EA has that I would trust to make that would make it like an amazing Dead Space game is Respawn, right? Like because they made Jedi Fallen Order, so I can definitely see Respawn making a really great Dead Space game if they did it.
Yeah, I think they're already working on something. Plus, they made another studio. I think Vince Capello, he made another studio. What was it called? It was some other studio that they formed in EA because of how successful he was with Jedi Fallen Order and leading that project. They're like, hey, we're gonna make a whole new studio. You can lead that, and then Respawn's already in good hands. So
Yeah.
we just have to wait and see whoever decides to do that game. And how.
And I mean, we don't even know if it's gonna be Dead Space. We gotta wait till July 22nd.
Yeah, it can literally be anything. It could be NBA Live.
I think Dead
Jam.
Space has been.
It could be. They can bring back Def Jam. They can bring like EA has so many franchises they can bring back. So people are just hoping it's Dead Space. That's why you're seeing Dead Space being thrown out there. But we'll see.
So we're just all speculating right now.
Okay.
But if it's Dead Space, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I don't know how big of a deal it's gonna be. Remember, they announced freaking Skate last year when they like with the two, I guess the developers saying, "Yeah, we're gonna make another Skate," and they probably decided that shit last.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything since. Skate is one of my favorite franchises. I actually like Skate a lot.
I mean, I feel like it's got enough time that might be something that we see at their showcase on July 22nd. I feel like.
Yeah, probably.
I would hope.
Actually, no, because I think they'll wait because with the pandemic, they probably have to delay a lot of stuff with that game.
They decided they were making that game over an email, bro. There's no way that game even started. It's probably in pre-production, if at best. I don't think we see anything on a new Skate. If anything, they'll give us a remaster or something before they give us a new.
Do a triple pack.
Give me all the Skate games remastered. That's it,
dude. If they like announce, so here's a couple things they could do with their franchises, because I think what we'll see is now that we saw how successful the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is, I bet we'll see from the 360 generation. So you look at Skate 1, Skate 2, Skate 3. I bet before these new games come out that they're making, they'll put out remastered collections of them to get everybody hyped and amped for them, and then they'll put out like a new title in it. So you could do, they could at July 22nd, they could be like Dead Space collection coming to Xbox, Series X and PlayStation 5. You get all three of them, and then here's Dead Space 4 or reimagining or whatever it is. And then same with like the Skate series, they can be like, here's Skate 1, 2, and 3 all in one pack. Boom, here's some information on Skate. Like I think they could find like a lot of success, because you gotta think we're looking at, I mean, the 360 and PS3 generation was what? I mean, we're looking at almost 10 years ago. They could find like a whole new audience now with people that couldn't play them then that can play them now easily.
Yeah. And the Skate community is very, very much alive with Skate 3 because it's backwards compatible.
Shout out to Donataku for the $5 super chat. He says EA used to be gods, then they started killing, ruining franchises one by one, like Def Jam Icon, Dead Space 3, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Skate, Fight Night.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. But
what if that's the revival, Fight Night? Everybody's been asking for a new Fight Night.
I don't think they're gonna do Fight Night. Like I watch boxing. The biggest thing with boxing in particular is that you have too many different networks. You have like Showtime and ESPN and fighters on both sides of the fence. I don't think they want to collaborate to make a game.
I don't think
that matters. It's just I would think it's a licensing thing, like in terms of like.
Well, that's the thing. They have to each fighter and each promotional company has to be like in it, right? And they have to get royalties for that. And not everybody's gonna want to be in the game. That's the biggest thing. It's like imagine there's a whole nother basketball league outside of the NBA, and you want to make a game and have all those players in it. They're not gonna be able to do something like that. That's the biggest thing. So with a fight night, I don't think we're gonna see a fight night for a very, very long time, especially with how these promotional companies work. Because you have the promotional companies, and then you have the PBC, you have Top Rank Boxing and all of that. The Zone, like it gets really complicated with boxing because of how decentralized it all is. Whereas like NFL, NBA is all one organization.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's not boxing, but if you look at their UFC games, I mean, honestly, how popular have their UFC games been?
Well, that's because
I
UFC is
don't
one
get it.
organization with a lot of mixed martial arts fighters under one
Right.
brand. Boxing isn't under one brand.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like how big
Oh,
were those? Like, I'm just talking about player base. I'm not talking about like the
Yeah, the player.
complexity of it.
Yeah, the player
I'm just
base is
saying.
definitely there. There's a lot of interest because boxing is still very popular of a sport.
I guess I'm not into.
Yeah, no, boxing is still very popular, man, and
Uh.
I think another fight night would definitely be very successful today. Absolutely, but like what Jay was saying, like it's just a lot of hassle to even get that process up and going and shit like that when in terms of boxing than it is for like UFC.
I don't think EA even wants to get into that now. Like it's very very complicated to bring everyone to the table and say, hey, we want to put all of your fighters inside this one video game, and I don't know. That's something that can get really really messy, especially when these fighters often want to fight each other,
Smooth.
which is a whole nother.
Smooth, what's the name of that boxing game you was talking about, man?
Smooth
He's
not even here.
Oh shoot.
The only boxing game you got to look forward to is what's that shit from Nintendo called the boxing
Knockout?
game? Knockout, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They'll bring
it.
another one of those. It's been a while since. I mean, it's been the Wii since they did that, right? Or did they do any on the Wii U or Switch?
No, it was. I think the Wii was the last one. The only one that was on the
I remember
Switch-
that one.
The only one that was on the Switch was like Arms, but yeah, that was.
What about Ready to Rumble with new celebrities?
Damn. Might as well bring back a celebrity deathmatch then.
That's
Hey.
it.
That's like wrestling or some.
Well, I just remember there was one of the PS2 games.
Yeah, that was
Celebrity
crazy.
Deathmatch. That was crazy.
Well, I guess while Smooth is gone, we can just transition into this new new
damn.
blog post from Xbox that they had yesterday about the design for Xbox monitors. So they had an entire blog post highlighting three partners that they have. They have Philips, Asus, and Acer providing monitors that will take full advantage of the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, which HDMI 2.1. So this is their new design for Xbox program. They send their blog posts with the amazing visual capabilities of the Xbox Series X and S, and new display features such like HDR, 4K, and 120 Hz. We want Xbox fans to be able to find the ideal monitor for their preferred gaming experience. So that's how they develop these partnerships with Philips, Asus, and Acer. Now, obviously, there's other brands. I have the LG review on my channel.
Yep.
Kid Smooth has the Gigabyte Aorus 4K 120 Hz 43-inch monitor. But these are the three main partners right now. So you're gonna have that design for Xbox logo on the packaging of these products and the advertisements for these products as well.
Now,
Which is a pretty cool announcement.
Now let's talk about this for a little bit. I mean, I was waiting for Xbox to do something like this, but these three are expensive. None are available now. They all three uniquely has like a an Xbox mode, which obviously is probably designed to take advantage. Like settings pretty much catered to look best on Xbox, right? Or when the Xbox game's running the best. And I'm pretty sure we can probably tinker our monitor settings to match those possibly when we kind of see what that looks like. But let's just go down to like that Philips. Now I haven't heard from Philips in about 20 years. Like I knew Philips did like TVs. I did not know they did monitors. The thing about their monitor is that one, it's 55 inches. So it's
What?
It's 55
inch monitor?
Yes, and it's 16.
Yeah, I don't know
Not a
about that.
TV.
It's $1,600. At this point, by
Oh,
default, I would just recommend an OLED, an LG
Yeah.
OLED, just by default. Now, the cool thing about it is that it does come with a sound bar built in and whatnot, but it's an oversized. It's a TV.
Yeah, it's not a monitor.
Impersonating
it's
a monitor, dog. That's what it is.
TV.
But yeah, that one's a whopping $1,600. But rest assured, that's not going to be the most expensive one. The most expensive one is going to be the Asus Strix Xbox Edition. They did not list a price on it, but I can tell you right now, the HDMI 2.0 version of this monitor when it came out in 2018 was $2,000.
Oh,
So
shit, dude.
imagine what the 43-inch version of the HDMI 2.1 monitor is going to be.
Dude, these are TVs. These aren't monitors, man. Get the fuck out of here.
The only one that's a true monitor,
What?
according to our standards, is the Acer one. So they have a 28-inch monitor. My issue, I talked about this in my review. The issue with this is that this one's more expensive than the LG because the LG is about $50 cheaper.
Yes.
This Acer one is display HDR 400 versus 600 in the LG, and it only covers 90% of the color gamut that the LG does. The LG does 98%. This only does 90%. So it's an inferior monitor on paper, and for PC gamers, it doesn't have G-Sync. Yeah. So there's more features from the LG, and the LG is amazing. Like it gets very, very bright. It's very, very vibrant, and check my review out. I go way more in depth in the review.
I just feel like these people are saying, putting a huge tax on these these monitors, TVs, or whatever you want to call them, just because they have the Xbox name tied to them.
Well, it's not even just that. So the thing is, there's so many people with next-gen consoles, right? That are still gaming on 1080p or 1440p gaming monitors, right? So there's such high demand and there's not much supply, so they can charge whatever they want for these displays.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So we're not going to see price drops for a while, and there isn't a wide variety of these monitors. That's the biggest thing. There's only about like 6 or 7 of them out on the market right now.
I'll just chill with my 28-inch LG 4K monitor. That's
it's
I'm good for a while.
I definitely now these are going to come in handy. There are people that are going to buy it, just for the Xbox logo. And if you want it, like I said, for those who are likes playing on monitors, I feel like right now me and Dope Boy do have the better options, and we have the cheaper options. Even though, so for example, his LG, like if you compare, it's better than the Acer that's there. It's and it's cheaper. It's $50 difference, right? Between
$50 difference between the two.
Yeah, and then you have a better HDMI, not HDMI, HDR.
The HDR is better, and then the color reproduction is way better on my monitor than the Acer.
I have the Gigabyte Aorus that I have. It's 43 inches, so it's the same size as the
Asus.
The Asus, which is coming out, and it has the same exact feature set. And it was how much? Because when I was linking it, I got it on. I did get it on like a temporary sale. It was like I think $9.99, but I think overall it ended up being like $1,100. So still fairly expensive, but it is also 43 inches. And I only bought this one because the LG one was not available at the time. It was the first one that highlighted add to cart. Once the add to cart became available on the 2.1 monitor, this is the one I did. But it literally has the same exact features as the new Asus that's coming out. Which, and so far, like I said, it's been doing good. But if you're looking at these options and whatnot, and if you want to dive into that, yes, the LG. Hopefully that becomes more rapidly available. The Acer would be a nice one, but I think the Acer doesn't come out until a little bit later. Okay.
Yeah, so the Acer came out initially on Amazon, but they stopped it because the partnership with Xbox. So they're gonna be re-releasing it pretty soon. So there's a couple of people that do have the Acer, that reviewed it on YouTube. Besides, like obviously your bigger YouTubers that get like their review copies of the monitor, there are people that actually bought it. And I think there's like one from like a third-party scalper that's selling it for like $2,000. It's insane. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Now some people are gonna look at these prices and be like, "Oh, why would I buy this? Why would I buy this when I can get something like an LG OLED or like a Sony or something like that?" And the biggest thing, it's all preference, right? So like for me, for my gaming setup, I don't have the space on my desk to fit a 55-inch. I can't even mount that here. So
I don't know too many people that could.
Yeah, so for me, like I like
TV.
to have my consoles near my PC setup, so it's easy
That's
to
huge.
record gameplay, edit
50.
everything like that. So
Like,
that's me. But some people like to game on their couch.
Looking at that thing under your desk.
Yeah, some people like to game on their couch, and I can understand why they would go with like a 55-inch, even a 65-inch. So it's all about preference, honestly.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about getting the LG that you have. I would get 2 of them to replace my current LGs that I have now. But now I got accustomed to the size because I've been I had this monitor for I would say almost a month now, And
Yeah, I'm going on a month to
I
month.
don't even realize. I haven't realized that it's actually 43 inches though. I can't sit all up on it when I'm playing. I do have to like scroll my like seat back and just play at this distance. Because of where my camera is sitting on the bigger monitor right now. But like you, I like to have my consoles close to my PC setup for streaming purposes.
Yeah.
To be able to plug it into the capture card and whatnot. You don't got to do so much switching. So my PS5, my Xbox, and my monitors are all just next to each other. And then when more games start taking advantage of Dolby Vision, and when LG put out that firmware update to do Dolby Vision at 120 hertz, I got another Xbox plugged up on the LG.
Let me say this as well, because I've seen a lot of different display manufacturers from the TV side have issues with playing at 4K 120 hertz with HDR. So before you decide to buy one of these monitors, because me and Smooth own our monitors, so we can tell you like right here that whatever works. We know like the pros and the cons. If there were any issues, we will let you guys know. The only issue I had initially was that the first display that I got from LG was defective. Other than that, I exchanged it and got a new one. It's been perfectly fine. It works in every single game, every single mode. That's it. Like HDR, 4K, 120 hertz. It works perfectly fine. No issues whatsoever. And games really do look amazing. Ratchet and Clank, like I said in my review, Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man Remastered has to be two of the best looking games so far that I played on it. And Cold War. Cold War in that ray tracing mode looks really, really good as well.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, like, I keep my display at like settings at 120 hertz. Like I said, I played a little bit of Sea of Thieves at 120 frames. I played. Obviously, I only play Call of Duty multiplayer at 120. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I don't need the ray tracing. I do 120.
Yeah, I do that. I do the
Call of Duty.
multiplayer as well.
Gears and obviously anytime we play Master Chief, by default it goes to that
Yeah,
mode.
I do Master Chief as well. I played Overwatch at 120 hertz.
Overwatch, yes.
Paladins had an FPS boost, so like they kept the native 4K resolution
So now,
and got
yeah,
the
you
120
get
on
that crisp 4K 120. But nobody,
Yeah.
every time I highlight those games that keep its resolution and get the frame rate, nobody want to say nothing. Now I have a question though, in regards to 120 frames, because I understand Call of Duty Warzone got a 120 frames update on the PS5, but they're saying you have to
disable HDR.
Now, why is that? Because the only reason why I ask that, because usually with that is if it's like, I know, all right, HDR 120 hertz pass through is possible on 2.1. It's not possible on 2.0 or models before, because, for example, on previous monitor, like the monitor before I got my HDMI 2.1 monitor, remember how I kept cycling through monitors for 120 frames, and I don't know if you guys were a part of it, and I was getting pissed off because I had to keep checking off settings and stuff.
Yeah, you got like the BenQ, I believe.
Yeah, in the monitor before the BenQ, and even the BenQ, I had to disable HDR to play 120 frames, but because it's not a 2.1 monitor at all.
Yeah.
So I had to do that by default. It was just an action that I had to do if there was a game that had both. And I noticed when I was playing Sea of Thieves, when you switch to 120 hertz mode, it was like, hey, for some displays, you might have to disable HDR. It was like, all right, that makes sense for some displays. So why by default on the PS5, which is an HDMI 2.1 setup, do you have to disable it if it's not?
It's been odd with the PS5 for some titles. Now, Warzone, for me, I don't understand why you have to disable HDR to enable 120 hertz on PS5. So that's something I have to look up. But you have to remember, also the PS5 doesn't support the full suite of HDMI 2.1 features, things like VRR. That's very, very important, because not every game is gonna hold a lock 60 or a lock 120 hertz.
Yeah.
Like when you're experiencing those dips in frame rates, your display isn't going to adjust its refresh rate on the fly to match that frame rate to keep a smooth image. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, correct.
And I've noticed when there's games that can target 60 frames per second, but it doesn't always hit it. My display is always smooth versus like my two Samsung displays, which I use on my PC, which doesn't have that. And when I'm dropping frames, like if I'm playing Warzone on PC and I'm dropping frames, it's rough. Like it's really bad.
Yeah, the
You know what's the weird thing about the Warzone? Because the Warzone on PS5, like the 120 frames per, it's not Warzone is still it's not a PS5 version.
Yeah.
They did something with the PS4. I don't know what it is to where it unlocks it, and on the PS5, you can play. So it's not because like a lot of the like one of the because the advantage of like how Xbox they built their console is like it just has to be a patch versus because some developers have said this like if we want to get the 120 frames on the PS5 they have to like do a actual full native port like a full native like PS5 port, right? It's not a patch. But for some strange reason Call of Duty Warzone has figured it out to where like they didn't have to do a full native PS5 port to get the 120 frames. But then it's weird because then now you have to disable the HDR. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with that.
maybe for the all right. Maybe I could and somebody can obviously tell me if I'm bullshitting or not. Because you're right, it is a PS4 game still, and PS4 obviously isn't an HDMI 2.1
right.
system. It's two.
Maybe yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
it's still a PS4 app. Yeah.
if it's treating it like okay, this is running. If it's treating it like it's running on the PS4 and they just was able to like, all right, let's target 120 hertz on the PS4 and just play it on the PS5. All right, I can understand why that would happen because you wouldn't be able to do because even if the PS4 was capable of 120 hertz, it's not an HDMI 2.1 insert, so you wouldn't be able to get that pass through it. So okay, it's pretty much treating it like a native port, regardless of the update. Gotcha. All right.
I think you hit it on the head, Smooth, because that makes complete sense.
Yeah, because every Xbox One game I boot up is auto HDR, so that's like a exclusive feature for real. To be honest,
auto HDR is different than what this scenario is because auto HDR is just machine learning, pretty much. They're another version of like machine learning of them, pretty much
machine learning.
Calculating whatever bullshit to make something seem like.
Can I get that again?
But auto HDR is different because auto HDR is meant for games that never had HDR in the first place. So if it didn't have HDR, then the Xbox applies like an HDR feature to it and gives it auto HDR. So that'll be different. So,
but overall, I think there's gonna be like I said before, there's a lot of demand because these people have really old displays and they want to be able to show off the visual fidelity of these games. Like for a lot of these titles, like Ratchet and Clank, for your Spider-Mans, Halo Infinite when that drops, like you can't show off that level of detail at a lower resolution, whether it be 1440p or 1080p. On top of all the other features like auto HDR, HDR10, and having that level of brightness on those displays as well. And that's what these new monitors and TVs are going to be able to do for people.
I got a question for this dude Shadow of Nexus. He said, "Not true, Smooth. My monitor is HDMI 2.0 and my GPU is 2.0. I can still use HDR at 120 hertz on my PC." Hey, are you doing it through HDMI or do DisplayPort?
Yeah, and he needs to say what resolution because it's not at 4K, clearly. So you have to be specific at what resolution you're playing at. And we're talking about consoles. We're not even talking about PC. PC is an entirely different thing in itself.
But do any of you guys interested in potentially upgrading your display to one of these designed for Xbox monitors?
Oh, me? Nah.
No, not
I game on TV.
TV.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's still the de facto best option in terms of what when you consider some of the displays that are out that gives you the full package. Monitors are just finally starting to catch up, but by the time HDMI 2.1 becomes very common on monitors, there's still going to be missing features such as like Dolby Vision and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not mad at that. Like I said, that's the only reason why I got two Xboxes. I'm too lazy to keep moving this Xbox from monitor to TV, and then but I also did notice Dope Boy is like, 'cause I hooked the Series S up into the living room, and obviously the TV I got doesn't have like VR and stuff like that. So when it's literally night and day playing a game that's like would fluctuate in frames and whatnot, and then playing on a display that is able to have VRR and FreeSync hooked up and stuff like that. And it's like some of those things you don't notice unless your shit is just like crashing like Cyberpunk. That's the only literally. But man, that was a good discussion. Shout out to Lady Foxfire. Why does that seem so familiar?
Foxfire.
Yeah, Lady Fox. Isn't she?
Yeah, she used to
Yeah, she
be
sounds
on
familiar.
podcast with Mooch and Luca.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, I enjoyed the Xbox
Yeah,
E3 she says, I enjoyed the Xbox E3 reactions. # longtime viewer. Thumbs up. Oh, shout out to you.
Oh, shout out. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comment. What else we got? So Phil Spencer, I don't know if you guys got to see it before we went live, but I threw in the chat. Phil Spencer had an interview. He was on another podcast, and somebody had the balls to ask him, "What's up with Holiday for Halo Infinite?" Right? Did you check out his answer?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh man! All right. So,
oh man, he went hard.
No, they wanted some clarification. It was like, all right, Halo Infinite Holiday, is it still coming out? Is it still due out this year? What's up? And so Phil Spencer said they have the month, and it's just like this 4-week window, and it's pretty much what some other people be saying. It's like they have a internal date, but there's a couple factors that's determining that. Like, one, can we hit this exact date before we announce it? And then two, there's obviously some other game releases that they're hovering around.
Battlefield, Call of Duty, Forza Horizon 5.
Listen, man, Battlefield, okay, I understand. Call of Duty, like I've been saying, yes, Call of Duty will sell, but that player base is not going to be as big as people think it is because it's a Sledgehammer game. Sledgehammer does not make good Call of Duty games. Now, here's a couple of advantages that. Yeah, it's still going to be
like
huge.
The best-selling game.
Yeah.
I think Battlefield is probably going to be the best-selling.
Let me give you the advantage that Halo has, right? Halo has the advantage of visibility and accessibility. Visibility because the game's going to be on Game Pass on all the Xbox consoles from Xbox One up to Series X and on PC, right? So that's a huge base of players that are going to be able to play the game day and date, right? And it's a free to play multiplayer. So even if you don't care about not multiplayer, but even if you don't care about campaign, the multiplayer is free. It's accessible and visible to every single person on the planet Earth who owns an Xbox console or a PC. What other game can say that?
Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite.
Well, I think this year is going to be, because we saw it last year with Cold War. Cold War, yeah, it was big for Call of Duty, but not as big as previous titles before. Yeah. It's almost like the only reason people are buying the Call of Duties is to get the weapon packs, to get the
for Warzone,
the characters for Warzone. You look at the numbers on any streaming platform.
Hold on, I'm sorry. They're overpaying just to get packs for a free game?
Yes. They have to, because
that's the only way you can get that's the only way you can get the guns is if you get
Cold War. If you get Cold War, it's easy to level up the guns in there and then take it to Warzone. Yeah. That's all it is. If you look up Cold War on a Twitch list versus Warzone, it's at the bottom. And then here's another thing.
So, hold on. I just looked it up, by the way. Cold War broke records digitally, and it's already within the top,
they broke records. Yeah. I'm talking about engagement, like concurrent users on the game. If
you comparing Warzone, a free game, bro, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Let me chime in because I think I know where Coke Boy's getting at, right? And why Xbox shouldn't have to be worried about this year's Call of Duty. Battlefield, I understand because it's a partnership, so you're trying to cater to your partner. Who's the game is advertised on your platform. You got a Game Pass deal with the game and whatnot. So you do want to have some space between your partner's game on your platform and your game on your platform. So I understand Battlefield, and that they're also, except their multiplayer, it's a multiplayer only. It's $70. So Halo still has the leg up because it is the barrier to entry is much lower than what Battlefield is. Now Call of Duty, if this was like a Halo 5 thing, I understand because now back then Xbox cared obviously about sales. sales is no longer a concern engagement-wise. So sure, regardless of when Call of Duty drops, it's going to sell, it's going to break records, it's going to be the best-selling game. But at the end of the day, Xbox should not have to worry about player base.
The player base.
They shouldn't have to worry about losing player base to this Call of Duty if it's not going to be up to par. And if it does,
They
even
still
if it's
gotta
like
be
the first week.
My bad. I was gonna say they still gotta be smart about it though. Like
they
they
definitely
don't
have to be
release it
smart.
the same day or the day before of Call of Duty as well.
I think you want to give the game space.
I get what y'all saying. Like it has the the free to play, so it's definitely more accessible and stuff like that. But you still gotta be smart about releasing your game alongside like what's gonna be like the biggest game of or one of the biggest games of the year. Because even regardless how we feel, I don't play Call of Duty. I can't stand that shit. I don't like that shit, right? But regardless of it, the motherfuckers, they still do numbers every month.
They still sell. My thing is, even though Call of Duty will always sell, we've seen games of Call of Duty where the player base have died and it just fell off a fucking cliff after like 2 months or so.
I think that's the point that we're trying to make is like the sales for whatever Call of Duty is going to be might not necessarily be for that game. Whatever Call of Duty Vanguard this year.
But that's all.
If you look at Black Ops, a lot of people bought Cold War just to get access to this stuff for Warzone.
Right, but that's all like.
That's what I'm saying. Like we're just talking about like
speculation. Like you're just assuming that this because it's Sledgehammer that people might not connect with this Call of Duty and they might fall out. Like we don't know that. We don't know.
But the thing is, there's lots of there's lots of insiders that have pointed that are very, very close to Call of Duty. Very credible people on YouTube and Twitter. It's in development hell because they're rushing the game.
Rubble.
It's in really bad shape.
Technically, this Sledgehammer game that coming out this year was supposed to come out last year.
It was supposed to come out last year, and Treyarch salvaged the project and repackaged it into Black Ops Cold War. That's what happened. And IGN reported on this multiple times as well. All right. So like, this new Call of Duty it's in a bad shape.
Bro.
And then go ahead, Nick.
Well,
that's according to
insiders. We don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. Like we don't know anything about the game yet.
Yeah, but every mainline Call of Duty is going to have an issue because of Warzone now. And that's just a fact. Like they're going to have to try to find a way because Warzone is going to probably have the most concurrent users playing it more than the multiplayer of any Call of Duty from here on out.
Call of Duty is Warzone right now.
Unless they keep going the way that they're going, man.
You know what they did? Kept doing
weapons unbalanced, no new map. It's been a year and a half, and they've yet to put out a new map.
After Black Ops Cold War,
other than Rebirth,
after Cold War came out, right? They changed the art, the digital art, to Warzone's art, and so everybody can accidentally play the fucking game. It was like you'll have two of the same art games for if you had Warzone installed and if you had Black Ops Cold War, it will be the same art.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was like what season 1 Cold War.
It's still the same way right now too. Like if you go on your Xbox or PlayStation and you look at the logo of Cold War, it's Cold War, Warzone. Boom, right there, packaged into one. They want to this game, like whatever Sledgehammer game is, it is a Trojan horse to get you to play Warzone. At the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about that multiplayer inside that game. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. 343 cares about their multiplayer. They know what they have to bring in terms of multiplayer, campaign. Even think about something like custom games in Forge mode. You know how creative the Halo community is with something like a custom games in the Forge and keeping players engaged with something like a file share, sharing custom maps and custom game modes. We've played Halo 3, we played Halo Reach. That level of customization and creativity is coming back to the game. And we had it there with Halo 5 as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like Halo Infinite isn't just going to sit here and just like die off for no reason. No, we've seen it with a game like Outriders that was put in Game Pass day and date, which doesn't even have the clout that Halo has, have a sustainable player base over a period of time because of that visibility on the service like Game Pass.
Yeah, I think it's going to be successful for the fact that it's free to play. You see how but just like y'all say, you see how they set it up, how they got the Infinite campaign on one side and free to play on the other, like they got Call of Duty got it. Like, yo,
but actually crazy. Xbox did that with Crackdown 3. You had two releases. You had I'm
saying the setup, the design of it.
Yeah, but that
Right,
is
the way
gonna
they
be,
have-
it's gonna be two, but it's gonna be two installs. That Halo and Halo's multiplayer aren't gonna be one thing. It's gonna be separate. You're gonna have Halo's campaign as a separate download and the multiplayer as a separate download with two different box covers, with two different.
It'd be like Crackdown, like Crackdown 3's Warzone, right?
It was me, Smooth, and like 10 other people playing that joint.
Yeah, Crackdown. I'm still hurt by that because I was having fun with that. But let's. I'm gonna go over the last the last like pretty much 5 or so Call of Duty releases. Right. Let's go back to 2016. Right.
Man, that's Infinite Warfare. That's the most disliked
World
trailer
War-
still on YouTube.
That one came out November
16?
4th, 2016. The World War II came out November 2nd, 2017. So they're getting earlier and earlier. Black Ops 4 came out October.
Which had no
12th.
campaign.
No campaign came out October 12th.
Garbage.
That was the last good one.
And Blackout died after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
No, it didn't. That shit lasted a while.
No, it didn't. That shit
No,
died
that
really
shit lasted.
fast.
Bro, that Blackout, that shit lasted a while. Cause I remember months after my friends kept.
No, that's cool. I remember Black Ops 4 having 11K viewers in the category.
After what you may call it. Well, you talk about like Twitch and shit. That's people viewing it. I'm talking about people playing it.
The game had no popularity whatsoever. That game fell off a cliff.
Warzone completely killed that shit. That shit's dead now.
I think Copeboy just don't like Treyarch games, bro.
No, it's not that I don't like Treyarch games. It's the fact that Call of Duty has been mishandled as a franchise. It's like you said. It's like they're trying to focus so much on Warzone instead of making the multiplayer experience better. If you have both of those experiences really, really like popping off, especially that multiplayer, because think about it. People used to be going for sick-ass gameplays on that game and dropping numbers. You can't even do that shit the same way you used to because they made the gameplay so dumbed down.
Oh boy, the last good Black Ops was 3, in my opinion.
Yes,
But,
it is. I agree.
No,
Yeah, multiplayer wise, yes.
4 was the last
multiplayer. Yeah, the multiplayer of 3 was the best one. It was well balanced with the weapons and.
You talking about Black Ops 3?
Yeah, the specialists, the weapons, the abilities.
Black Ops 3 was absolute.
We're saying the
trash.
last best one.
Trash.
Look, Jess
crazy,
just
bro.
said it in the chat. Who the hell wants to play another World War II game? No one cares about that. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, Battlefield's gonna be here.
Is that Sledgehammer a World War II game?
Yes, Sledgehammer is making
they
another
made the
World
last
War
one.
II game.
They made the
That's
last
what I'm
one.
telling you.
Well, it's not gonna flop, but yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Chris. Like, who wants to play another World War II game?
I didn't know it was another World War II themed game. I didn't know.
Yes, it's another World
Yeah.
War II
Jeffrey,
themed game.
why are they calling
It's not gonna flop, but it's not gonna hit as hard.
It's not gonna hit.
Yeah.
It's not gonna hit. The multiplayer is going to
No,
die really, really fast.
honestly, Battlefield 2042. I think that shit's gonna shut.
Battlefield is going
Yo,
to
that-
sell records. It's going back to form. The last Battlefield that people really enjoyed was Battlefield 4, like hard body. And 5 wasn't bad. I just didn't like the way that they abandoned 5 and stopped making content for the game.
Well,
No,
Five
actually,
was stuck
they did.
behind
They did.
the whole SJW war that they had.
They
Yeah,
gave
but they
up
made-
on that game.
No, they didn't.
Have a real
No,
shot.
no. They didn't give up on it. They continuously added content to that game. It's just people that they got tired of playing World War One and World War Two. That's pretty much it.
Now that I know it's World War II, then yeah, I agree. Microsoft shouldn't be that way.
That's what I'm telling you, Chris.
Battle
Call of Duty is
Royale-
not it
That's
this
the
year.
Battle Royale was
don't let
good.
them
They need to be
lose
worried
out on
about
their-
Battlefield though. Battlefield's the one they need to worry about.
Yeah.
Yo,
I don't even think they need to worry about Battlefield because you're talking about two completely different games.
Yeah,
You're
it
talking
is
about
different.
one, it's
It's
more of
different.
like, yeah, they might have big team battle and stuff like that, but Halo is more of a arena, close space, fast
arena
paced
shooter.
combat.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not comparing the two games because I understand the different.
Well,
games,
I'm just
right?
saying, even if
One's
you
arena,
even
whatever, but
even if
but Battlefield as of right now, Battlefield is a more popular franchise than Halo as of
It
right
has
now.
more hype. I will agree with you right now that game definitely has more hype. I just think that Halo
Even on
Infinite is.
Xbox, I
I
think a
think-
lot of people will still go with Battlefield.
Yeah, I think Halo Infinite is going to be more of like it's going to sustain a player base over a longer period of time. And the fact that you're launching on PC as well is going to help that game a lot. And it's on Game Pass on PC. Like people didn't understand how big of an impact it was putting Master Chief Collection and putting all those games on PC. You just open up a wide variety of players to play those games who haven't played on PC in decades. And now you have
the first
multiple
experience
games
of playing
on both.
Halo 3 was on PC too.
Yeah.
That was the first way you could play it. But I just think they're two different. You could put Halo and Battlefield out on the same day, and you're gonna attract two very completely different.
Like, yeah, but more people will go with Battlefield. Absolutely.
I think there's gonna be at least 3 weeks separating Battlefield and Halo. Either Halo comes out 3 weeks before.
But if you're looking at what
after Battlefield,
I know this is what Halo's 20th year anniversary, so I was banking on them wanting to hit that date of the 20-year anniversary to it. So if we're doing what Battlefield's coming out October 24th, something like that, 28th,
22nd, yeah, I think it is,
or 22nd. Mm-hmm. So and then what Halo's anniversary was what November
15th. That would be a Monday.
15th. So I guess you'd have to look at how many.
When does Forza Horizon come out?
November 9th, which is that'd be a week.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have like a stacked month in November.
God,
if they put Halo out in November.
Yeah.
Hey, you're looking at like 3 weeks of stuff. Like
yeah,
like
you know what?
Stuff.
I think if Forza and Halo release a week away from each other, I think it will still be fine because it's gonna be two totally different player base.
I think Jess hit the nail on the head. Thanksgiving or first week of December.
Yeah, I mean,
it's too late,
dude.
Man.
Holiday 2021 they could literally drop the game on fucking Christmas.
Yeah,
literally holiday 2021. Happy Christmas. Santa came early.
It might be December. It might be early December when it drops. Who knows?
I mean, if it's December, I mean, it gives them a little bit more time to get things spaced out. But I just think.
Because they don't got to worry about
wanted
sales.
To celebrate
free to play, and it's going on Game Pass, so they don't have to worry about no holiday sales or anything like that. So they can drop it in December and be fine.
Yeah, I just think they was wanting to hit that that mark of 20 years of Halo.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that I hope it's before December, and I'm hoping it's I don't know. I think they should make because they right now what do they have? I mean, they don't have a game dropping in October, and they don't have a game dropping in September. So all those Game Pass releases are you got July, August. Well, Back 4 Blood is October, so they are.
Yeah, the Game Pass is going to carry. It's going to carry it throughout into those releases come out.
Yeah. Well, I know Halo. I'm buying. Like if they announce a collector's edition, I'm getting that day one. I'm getting that collector's edition day one.
All right, so
that's it.
The first, the garage sale of WB Games has opened, and there is already one purchase made. I think EA purchased a studio from WB already. Was it Playdemic or something like that?
Oh, they're starting to sell the studios for real?
Yeah, EA purchased some.
Yeah, Playdemic Gaming Studio for $1.4 billion.
Yeah, let me see right now. Yeah, EA buys Golf Clash developer Playdemic from AT&T.
Oh yeah, the Golf Clash.
Yeah. So I'm glad they bought the whack shit. So that still leaves
for 1.4 billion.
Yep, 1.4 billion.
For what do these guys make? What?
That's for the whack shit.
Yo,
the good shit.
I'm just saying. Sony got a deal for what they got Insomniac for. Sony got a deal. It's just for their mobile portfolio. They're a mobile developer.
Golf Clash. That's it. $1.4 billion. That studio.
I'm hoping Microsoft and Sony is still in the garage sale. Taking
mobile.
They bought two things for $2.1 billion.
You can't compare a
mobile developer called Glue Mobile and Playdemic. What?
Yeah, Playdemic was
mobile
1.4.
But mobile is a different market though.
Yeah, EA likes to dabble in the mobile market.
I know,
as well.
But that's just
it's a lot though. But if you think about the amount of revenue that's generated on mobile and the big player base on there, like mobile, you get a pretty penny.
It wasn't moving units like that until they made Spider-Man, dog. Like, let's just be real.
I don't know.
overrated.
I don't know, but I'm happy to see some things move. I'm just
Don't start your
curious.
shit, Nick. Don't start your shit, bro.
I'm curious. I'm
Yeah, I was
curious to
chill.
see what happens with the other studios. You know, because there's Rocksteady, NetherRealm, Monolith.
NetherRealm. Oh my god, that's gonna be like 5 billion right there, 5 to 6 billion.
And then they also have like an Avalanche Studios in their portfolio, and then you got TT Games.
Was it Monolith as well?
Isn't Avalanche making a Xbox exclusive?
That's a different Avalanche though.
That's the.
There's two Avalanches. There's one that WB has, and then you have the Avalanche that does like Just Cause and shit.
Which one? Okay, which one is doing? Is Avalanche the one doing Indiana Jones, or is that no? That's Machine Games.
That's Machine Games.
Machine Games, yeah.
Avalanche, they're doing because there's two different types of Avalanche, but aren't they making like an Xbox exclusive? Like what's that?
Contraband. Yeah, that's the one that does like Just Cause and stuff like that studio.
Yeah, but aren't
Oh man,
so who owns Avalanche? Didn't Square Enix own them?
No,
Or
they
they
just
just
worked
publish
with
their
them
games?
for Just Cause, and I think Square Enix
Okay.
owns Just Cause IP. So I think Square Enix owns the Just Cause IP, but Avalanche.
Oh, and then the Avalanche from WB, they're the ones making the Harry Potter.
They're making that Harry Potter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to Just Cause like IP, man. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Just Cause. So
I don't think it's gonna be Just Cause.
Oh yeah, speaking about Square Enix, can we transition to the W that I should be getting right now because of the recent statements that Square Enix said about Outriders and Game Pass really quick?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm not agreeing with you that it's whack or that it's trash, but
It's trash, Mo. You're not even playing that right now.
I did all I needed to do in the game. I got 11 days in that game.
You can enjoy the game. I'm not gonna hold you down for that. Like that's cool. Like you like the game. I didn't enjoy it. That's fine. We have a difference of opinion, but based on what Square Enix is saying, it concurs with what I've been saying this entire time, that the reception of the demo was really, really bad. Mixed at best, and
Did Square Enix say that, or you said that?
No, I said that the demo was bad.
No,
They admitted that it was mixed, and the reason why they put the game in Game Pass is because it was going to not hit expectations, and they actually. So here's what he said, right? President Yosuke Matsuda says that digital sales for Outriders has skyrocketed and player counts are beyond expectations. He also stated that launching the game into Game Pass worked in their favor as it built an install base of gamers for the game. Also have something else that he said. Yeah, it also says that it improved visibility and discoverability of the game. It helps boost engagement and in-game purchases, raise player counts, and even game sales for the game. So Game Pass essentially saved the game, like I said. Phil Spencer gave them a stimulus package because they desperately needed it.
Oh yeah, y'all was talking about the interview and all that he did. Y'all, hey Chris, you know he brought up the Killer Instinct question too, man.
Oh, for real? What do you say?
He was just talking about how dead the game was, and he looking for somebody that got a passion for the game to create it.
Well,
and you probably won't find that.
By NetherRealm.
Right, but they don't probably have a passion for that. I don't know, bro. Like that shit pretty much is dead.
Man, nah, but Ed Boon said Ed Boon mentioned Killer Instinct a bunch of times and how he loves the game. And he even said that he's willing to be down to make like a Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct. So Ed Boon from NetherRealm has expressed interest in the Killer Instinct IP. So I don't know.
Yeah, but behind closed doors, he probably ain't act like it. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. This is what Phil said, bro. People hold his word to the fire. You feel me?
They need to, man, because they need some type of fighting game presence, man. Because Sony just taking.
Man, we losing out here with fighting games. We ain't got nothing.
I mean,
get a PlayStation.
Yeah, get a PlayStation.
Gotta get a PlayStation.
How y'all play fighting games on that the DualSense? Though I can't imagine how.
Because of the D-pad, like PlayStation. As far as fighting game, I play fighting games on D-pad, or like that's how I play. I don't play it on analog or anything like that, and that's why I always prefer PlayStation when it comes to fighting games, and why most people prefer PlayStation when it comes to fighting games, because the D-pad is definitely the superior choice for like fighting games and shit like that. The D-pad itself, because I remember like when I got Street Fighter 4 on the 360, I had to use the analog, man, because the 360 D-pad was not good for fighting
that
games.
D-pad was bad.
Not good for fighting games at all. Even the Xbox One got better, but it still wasn't as good as the D-pad of like the DualShock 4 when it comes to fighting games. For me personally, but everybody has their own different. Like people use arcade sticks and shit like that. So
the nerds use arcade sticks. What you mean?
I like the Series X D-pad though.
Well, yeah, it's the Elite pretty much D-pad. It's just fixated. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't use D-pad on video games at all. I was forced to use it when playing Aerial Knights. That's when I kind of, but I don't use D-pads on anything anymore. It's I don't. Xbox can't get D-pads right, and but I don't play games using a D-pad, so that's one thing. So
yeah, you don't play fighting games, so for you like D-pad is not really a big deal for you.
Yeah.
What's going on with this AMD Super Resolution Fidelity FX that people?
Oh yeah. Yesterday AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution was launched and it's supported by 7 games, and it's off to a really good start. I watched a couple of videos on it, and pretty much right now it's better than DLSS 1.0, and it's close to 2.0 right now. So there's a couple of different there's a couple of different quality modes for this. So you have
near through the TV or something, because I'm hearing like an echo.
Yeah,
somebody got an echo.
Nick, there's echo.
Go.
Is he there?
I think you walked away. That's probably why there's an echo.
Yeah, he got the. Wow. All right. Wait. I can mute him, right?
I think we should be good now. I don't hear it.
All right. Cool. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but essentially, FSR it's better than DLSS 2.0 or 1.0. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have to mute him real quick. Yeah. I can't be listening to myself talk.
How do I do? Oh, all right. I can. I can.
I'll just kick him out and then tell him to join back in when he's back.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they don't use AI upscaling like how DLSS does. It uses something called spatial upscaling to upscale that image to near 4K image without sacrificing image quality. So the two best quality modes that they've seen in trying to upscale to 4K is the ultra quality and quality mode, which the regular quality mode introduces a bit of softness, but it's not as pronounced as like the balance mode that they showed, and it doesn't really work as well as in lower resolutions like 1440p or 1080p, but it's looking really good right now. And I believe the Forspoken developer talked about how easy it was to implement. It took them like a day or two to put FSR inside their game. So like FSR is showing to be something that's going to be very promising as it gets better over time. Right now it looks really good. Like I seen the Godfall demo of it, and that ultra quality looked really close to native resolution, native 4K. So I can't wait to see this come to consoles, particularly Xbox Series X and PS5, to increase performance without you having to run a native 4K resolution or something like 1800p. You can get very close to it and still maintain image quality.
Yeah, and the guy from Luminous Productions, who they're the Square Enix devs that's making Forspoken, because they're talking about Forspoken is going to use it and shit. He was saying that like, yo, with all these techniques and the FSR and like in the image quality is getting to the point where it's like you're not even gonna tell the difference between native 4K and the technique that they're using, and you're gonna get the performance boost and stuff like that. So this is exciting across all the boards, especially if devs start to use it and implement it. This is why I said before, like this generation, like the days of just having like 30 FPS only games, as far as like the majority of the games, that's just long gone. We're gonna get a lot more options now with 60 and stuff like that. So it's very exciting with these new techniques that they're doing.
And that's the thing, like something like DLSS takes a lot more work because there's more data inputs to implement into your engine to use DLSS, where FSR is just way less work to put in. So you're gonna see a lot more games get it over time. Right now it's only 7 games. I think there's, let me see, I need to pull up the article. Yeah, there's 12 more games coming. So games like Far Cry 6, Resident Evil Village, Forspoken, obviously, Farming Simulator 22, Necromunda Hard Gun, which that's an interesting one right there. I think that game desperately needs it as well because of how like bad the performance fluctuates on consoles. So hopefully they can implement.
They finally patched it to get rid of the stuttering. By the way,
nice.
Only took them 4 weeks. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, like this is definitely going to be a very, very like great feature that comes to consoles. Obviously, it's on PC. It supports a wide variety of GPUs. So for you PC guys, this is excellent. And the great part about it is that it's not just limited to AMD GPUs. You can use it on NVIDIA GPUs as well, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely like this is definitely future proofing. You know, it's definitely gonna future proof the consoles and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm definitely excited, man. If it's easy as they say it is to implement.
Yeah, no more checkerboarding on PS5.
None of these devs should have any excuse, you know what I mean, going forward. So we'll see.
So, what's up with this Alien game? Old man, I think you posted that this game's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, they put out they put out a release date for it of August.
August 24th.
Yep, and it's gonna have a $40 price tag on it. It's gonna be a co-op little Fireteam third-person shooter. They actually just dropped the achievement list a little early on it too, which usually games keep those kind of hidden. But yeah, if you're looking forward to anything in the Alien universe, I know they announced, I want to say towards the end of last year, and they're like it's gonna be coming out in like the summer. It came out relatively quick, I think, from when it got announced to when it actually is coming out. So I was surprised to see it having an August release date. But I didn't know if they were doing like any type of betas or anything like that. But it does look good. Hopefully it delivers, and hopefully it's not like Alien Colonial Marines by any means. But yeah, we're getting that a little bit sooner than what I was anticipating. Right. And it's not gonna be it's gonna be only a $40. It looks like there's, just looking through the achievement listing and stuff, it looks like there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 campaigns. And I don't know how big each campaign missions are. They haven't really shown too much about it, but achievement wise, it's basically like your collect emotes, hats, decals, kill a certain amount of enemies, complete the missions and stuff, and then they got like, looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 5 different difficulty levels. Okay. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it'd be a fun game to play with friends and stuff.
I'll play it in Xbox Game Pass.
I don't think
they'll confirm it August 1st.
Yeah, I mean, it could still be a little bit. I mean, it has potential to come out. Might not actually. I mean, that might not be a bad thing, but I'll probably pick it up even if it's not for the 40.
Yeah, I want to see some gameplay for that for sure.
Yeah,
Scarlet. I believe they do. I believe there is something out there.
There is, okay. Yo, Nick, you there?
Yeah, I mean,
double check.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
Scarlet Nexus comes out on Friday. Any of you guys pre-order?
Not yet.
No,
honestly.
but I did want to talk about an interesting thing because everybody's throwing big, throwing Metacritic scores out there. Why is the Series X version the only one that has the lowest score? Are people just review bombing that shit?
Because they have five
reviews.
Because I'll tell you why. It only has 5 reviews, right? Versus the PS5 version has 41 reviews, so there's more reviews on the PS5, and the 5 reviews that I've seen, one of them was like Windows Central. They gave it like a 7 out of 10 and stuff like that. So I think if it had as much reviews as like the PlayStation version, it'll probably be higher than that. But that's the one thing. Like when people try to compare like some games with Metacritic and something like that, a lot of people don't look at the caveats when it comes to like the amount of reviews, because the game can have 100 reviews, right? And say a game has 100 reviews and got, I don't know, like an 82, and then that same game on the other platform only got 10 reviews, and then it has like a 90 something. It was because the amount of reviews, they didn't bring it as low as the other platform and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, it's getting good reviews across the board. It's getting, like 8s and stuff like that. So it's looking like it's a pretty decent JRPG that's coming out and whatever. I played the demo. I enjoyed it. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was good.
I was very surprised at I played the PS5 version, of course, but I was very surprised at the amount of DualSense features that they actually added, like the haptic feedbacks and the triggers and stuff like that. So I was very surprised about that. But honestly, I don't think people should. People are gonna troll with it, of course. The ponies, we're gonna run with it and troll and shit like that. But I don't think people should be making a big deal, only because it's the numbers of reviews.
Yeah.
So
it even has more reviews for PS4 than on Xbox. Has 8 reviews on PS4.
JRPG. I'm not surprised.
Only 5.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It is a JRPG, which they get reviewed way more on PlayStation than Xbox. So
that's
you gotta
the only
think about
thing.
it. Even those who are playing on Xbox, and if there are Xbox sides there, they're probably that's probably not their type of game to begin with. So that's also riding against it. But in terms of, I'm not paying that review score anymore. I'm surprised people were comparing the same exact game review scores. Like, hey, this one is better because of what? What makes it better? It's the same story, same gameplay. Like I don't know, but okay, but I'm looking out for it. Is day one. I was interested. I was holding out up until E3 because I thought it was going to be a Game Pass edition, but it wasn't. But I bought it whenever I had the money, the point saved up for it to buy it. So I'm good on that front. I will be playing it this Friday. But yeah, I mean, we got one more thing to talk about. Last week, Xbox, Aaron Greenberg and Pete Hines were doing their rounds, interviewing after E3, with the hype for, Starfield and Redfall and Xbox. Aaron Greenberg and Pete Hines been doing these joint interviews, these joint podcasts, and they did Twitter Spaces and whatnot. We know Pete Hines blew up temporarily for allegedly apologizing that Starfield won't be coming to PlayStation. I think so a lot of people took that out of context. He had to clarify, and he and Aaron Greenberg had Twitter Spaces, and Aaron Greenberg said something quite funny when that topic came up towards the end of their conversation. Pete Hines alluded to he's like, hey, I'm gonna need to take a break from Twitter. He's like, I can't. He's like, he take a break from Twitter. Every time I open it, I had to express this kid or something about my apologizing and all this other stuff. And then Aaron Greenberg says, I'm not sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. And that kind of got highlighted last week. Anybody got any thoughts on this whole Bethesda Starfield thing and people still asking Pete Hines and Todd Howard, is this game coming to PlayStation?
I think a lot of that is definitely media. Like, it's definitely media driven because like when he was like, I'm sorry for all the PlayStation players that are pissed or whatever. Now listen, I'm not saying that there isn't. Well, first of all, like I don't know, like Starfield, I don't know why anybody would be pissed because we still don't know the full extent of what that game is. But I'm not saying that there isn't any PlayStation gamers that are pissed off, but I haven't seen barely any. So I think like the media, like I don't know, it's like it's one of to me it seems a little bit like a psychological thing. Like people are perceiving that a lot of people are upset when really not a lot of people are upset, because if it's a lot, we would definitely be seeing it, because all of those articles that said people are upset, they didn't provide with any type of proof or tweets or anything like that from the fans saying that they were. Pete Hines should never apologize for that, and I'm not mad at Aaron Greenberg said I'm not sorry. He shouldn't be sorry. Nobody should be sorry. Microsoft bought them. They own them. They own the IPs and stuff like that. They need games. They need exclusive. That's what everybody was talking about. So they need to make this shit exclusive. They need to make Starfield exclusive. And like I said, and I keep saying over and over again, if you want Starfield, buy a PC or get an Xbox. And it's as simple as that, So
Chris, I got something to say about that one thing you said. I don't see it. People they not putting the tweets out there. We could have said the same thing about the when the whole crossplay thing came through, and everybody on Twitter was like, I don't care because I don't care about crossplay. But there was a whole, like, Twitter is so small, like actual PlayStation, like the majority, which is the people that's not on Twitter, like, what I mean? They actually care. Like, we got to stop thinking that we are
but where's the proof
majority
of that if we can't see it? You see what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean? What's the proof?
You're making a claim that the majority of the people who are on Twitter care, but how do we measure that? Like, where's the proof to measure that they actually care?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, it's other fans out there that's the majority. Like, okay, I don't care about backwards compatible, right? But when they went on DualShocks and all these PlayStation sites, majority of the fans that were on them sites actually cared about.
Actually cared.
You see what I'm saying? But on Twitter, you didn't see it. because
but here's the
everybody.
thing, but they did a poll. So with that, that's a measurement right there. Be like, well, y'all saying y'all don't care, but all of these other PlayStation fans saying that they care. But we saw it with a poll. We're not seeing this with any type of poll or anything like that. So it's like the claims that are being made. It's like, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there isn't any. I'm sure there's some PlayStation fans who just love Bethesda games and they
wasn't there a petition
and shit like that.
There's a lot of them. Hold on,
wasn't there a petition?
Hold on, you do got proof in sales, right? It's sold more on PlayStation than Xbox, so we got it right there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we're talking specifically. We're talking about the Starfield thing.
Well, yeah,
but if anybody's a Bethesda fan, they're going to be looking forward to Starfield. I mean, Starfield got announced way before this acquisition.
Yeah, like we forgetting about those who actually buying it. That's not on Twitter. Like, yo, it's like what 4 million people on PlayStation that bought Fallout 4.
I just
saw
that. Right.
The dumbest thing I saw.
Starfield. That's what I'm saying. If anything, the only thing I've been seeing is people saying, "What the fuck is Starfield?" and where.
Well, yeah, of course, everybody.
Oh yeah, I'm asking what is Starfield.
Like, I'm not like. Listen, if there's a lot of them out there, point me to them. Point me to the people that are saying that because
I am pretty sure. I'm gonna look this up right now. I'm pretty sure there's
if you can show me like 30 screenshots of people that are legitimately upset out of 100 million people, then we could say, yeah, there's a lot of people that are mad. Because honestly, other than that, like, I'm not really like I agree with exactly what Nick is saying. Like, the Twitter space is a very minority, it's very niche. So things may look like some things that get blown out of proportion may look like a big deal, but it's not a big deal and shit like that. And some things may not look like a big deal, but for a lot of people, it's a big deal. But from all the PlayStation fans that I know and shit like that, ain't nobody sitting here nobody's pissed. A lot of people are applauding Xbox for that shit. A lot of people are applauding Xbox for buying Bethesda and some shit like that. Yeah, there's some people that are salty and shit like that. But I think it's more of a perceived thing. I think it's more like a psychological thing that the media is pushing. Like, PlayStation fans are mad because this and that, but we're not really seeing it. I'm not seeing a lot of PlayStation fans mad about it. So.
Well, this is one more thing to that. I would say this. I would say all those millions of Fallout fans are mad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're Fallout fans. They're not Starfield fans because they don't know what Starfield is.
But if you know about Fallout fans,
Fallout 5. Once they find out that that's not coming to PlayStation, yeah, a lot of them are gonna be pissed and stuff like that. But when it comes to Starfield, a new IP, nobody really knows what it is.
Okay, so let's take Fallout out of it. Elder Scrolls, all of these Bethesda games, Doom, most of these sales are on PlayStation, right? Would you agree to that?
I gotta look at. Most sales,
bro.
The better sales. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just
we know this,
but I would assume yes. I would assume
games sell more on PlayStation. We could both agree on that, right? So all of these
usually sell
Bethesda fans, majority of them are on PlayStation, correct? Before the acquisition is what I'm saying. I don't know if they crossed over or what, but we can assume that they sell.
There's a lot of Bethesda fans on PC.
Okay, so they upset. Well, not the PC ones, but the ones on PlayStation. You wouldn't. It's. I don't know, man. It's a strong possibility that they would be upset. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Yeah, like I said,
that's where all the game is at.
But to the level it's being blown, we're not seeing a whole lot of it to the level it's like.
Oh yeah,
that is being blown. But either way, P. Hine shouldn't apologize at all.
Nah, he shouldn't.
You know what I mean? So it's like I understand. I understand for like Elder Scrolls. It's like, yeah, I know. Elder Scrolls is a huge fan base on PlayStation, and it sucks. Blah blah blah. Fallout 5, huge fans on PlayStation. It sucks. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. But Starfield, we don't really know a whole lot about. It's a new IP, so we'll see how it turns out.
Just a reminder, Starfield, the trailer was captured in game, not a CGI trailer. By the way,
it's in engine.
Yeah, didn't they say that in the trailer?
In engine or out in alpha engine is what they said.
Yeah, in the creation engine 2 or whatever. Yeah.
But like I saw like the dumbest article I tweeted out today. That there was an article from Game Rant that literally said, "Is Forza Horizon 5 going to be on PlayStation 5?"
Why is that even the question?
Why is like And
Bro.
literally there's an article. Somebody fucking wrote this, and it's like it should have just been no.
Exactly.
No.
Like, why is that even
Gaming
you know what
journalism,
that reminds
baby.
me of?
And it's like
That reminds me of Spider-Man 2018. There was an article like the year it was coming out. There was an article like months before that. I forgot which gaming site said this, but they said that although it hasn't been confirmed yet, Spider-Man 2018 will release on PC, Xbox, PlayStation this holiday and shit like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you not paying attention? It's all for clicks, bro. It's all for clicks.
I'm surprised they're bored this quick. I mean, it's the summertime. E3 just happened. Summer Game Fest is still going on. I mean, I get emails daily from different publishers about different things. There's better stuff to write about than these fake ass things.
Yeah.
Like as if Forza ever there hasn't been a single
has it ever been
PlayStation or snip. Like
and you know, I heard from not that I've got to try it myself, but I heard that some people are thinking that the xCloud servers got a buff.
It did.
Like things are actually running like super smooth on xCloud on browser.
Well, because they're sliding in Xbox Series into server blades, so the Series X server blade, so they're getting upgrades, and it should be ready for the most part by this fall, where it'd be a majority of people.
So I mean, if these people really want to play Starfield, do you just subscribe to a month of Game Pass, play it on xCloud, and call it a day?
Yeah, exactly. You
like I mean, if like yeah, like if this service is gonna be as good as they're trying to get it to be, I mean,
that's not the solution, bro. No, that's not the solution because they always say if I want to play Xbox games, I'll just play on my PC. Yeah. So play on your PC.
You can in browser. You can play it on a fucking tablet.
Like
on your
that's
phone.
all these guys say.
Play it on PC.
If you want to play Xbox games, play it on your PC with your GTX 1060. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
You can have the oldest fucking computer ever as long as it's got Google Chrome or Firefox in it or whatever. You can boot it up on xCloud.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie though. Over the last 5 years, people had beastly PCs.
Apparently everybody has a high-end PC now, so they could just play their games on their PC.
Bro, I'm curious how many high-end PCs were sold in 2020.
Yeah, I wonder how many guys got 3080s and 3070s and shit.
Bro, the PC market right now is fucked, bro.
Yeah,
that shit is fucking way too to get a actually competent PC that's more powerful than the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Like
how much money you're spending?
A lot of money, bro. Huh?
What? Like, dude. Oh, but I could play these Xbox games on my PC. So play it on your PC. Stop making petitions for the game to come to PS5. Like, what the fuck? I like how these guys switch the narrative all of a sudden. Like, one week they all have 2080 Ti's and 3080s, and now the next week, bring the game to PS5. Like, what? Stop it.
That's how fanboys are, man. Narratives get switched all the time on all sides. Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that everybody, I mean, a lot of people, I guess I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people when Insomniac got bought by Sony knew instinctively that, hey, the games are going to be only on PlayStation. So if you want to play Insomniac games from now on, get a PlayStation. But then Xbox buys Bethesda, and they're like, well, are these games going to be on PlayStation? And it's like, dude, Xbox spent this money. It's going to be on their platform, and that's it. Whatever platform they're on, that's what it's going to be.
The only way that any of these games will be on PlayStation if PlayStation allow Game Pass on PlayStation. That's it.
Well, but if
PlayStation allow Game Pass on PlayStation, that's the only way you will see these fucking games coming. But PlayStation is not going to allow that to happen, so you're not going to see these games coming on PlayStation.
But is there a browser on the PS5 or the PS4?
No,
right?
Not yet.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, surprisingly.
No, PS5 has a browser. I think so. I think so. I don't know. I gotta look it up. I don't use browsers on console, so I don't know.
I'm just saying. If there is, I mean, you could just literally boot up the browser. And if
PlayStation has a browser, I guarantee you, to my knowledge, it doesn't have a browser. If it
does,
it doesn't have a standard browser that xCloud will probably even work on. He probably got those old what's that? Those old mobile browsers they used to be on before Google and Apple came to play. Wasn't it started with like an O or some shit like that?
Yo, that fucking trash ass web browser, bro.
I'm not trying to cook it, but I'm just saying, I to my knowledge, there is no browser on the PlayStation. If so, I'm curious to see which browser.
No, there is a browser.
Oh, it is. It's one, but it's like
it's garbage.
I don't use browsers on consoles.
Yeah.
You put that shit out of your ass, though. You just said Ubuntu. What?
I'm just saying. I mean, it's
Opera.
Man.
Opera. That's probably what it is. Opera, right?
Well, I'm just saying, if it does have a browser, you could possibly log into Game Pass
right
on
now.
your
Game
PlayStation.
Pass will work on Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and iOS. Nintendo Switch probably has like a Chrome variant, right?
It says I looked it up. It says it has a hidden browser, like the PS5.
What?
I don't know.
Huh?
Okay.
I don't know.
How to have it.
Listen,
Obviously, it wasn't very well hidden.
Even if it does, I wouldn't even suggest that shit. Like I wouldn't. It's probably trash anyway.
Oh, we got another super chat.
Shout out to Verge Brizzle. He says, "Can someone explain what's good about Game Pass on PlayStation? To me, it kills Xbox. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no. I don't understand why.
No, it wouldn't kill Xbox. It'd kill PlayStation. Like,
I don't understand why this notion to want Game Pass on PlayStation or even like Nintendo. I understand why Microsoft would want to do it, obviously to increase users and whatnot. But in terms of why Xbox users or even PlayStation users, PlayStation users, obviously you want to play some games that aren't coming to the platform. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I guess. See, the thing is, Game Pass is about to hit a situation where if it could go on other platforms, it would go as a streaming service like Netflix and HBO Max and shit like that, or HBO Go and all other shit. But if I'm Nintendo and PlayStation, I don't want it there because that's I don't understand how PlayStation wouldn't allow EA access at first. They literally wouldn't allow EA access first and then turn around and be like, we'll take Game Pass, which I don't understand how that works. And if I'm Microsoft, to get that competitive edge, you got so many other devices. You can reach the people you need to reach without putting it on a PlayStation or Nintendo. You got mobile. You could do deals with T-Mobile, Verizon. You could do deals with Comcast and Verizon Fios. You can do all, since it's going on TVs. If you're going to put it on TV, you don't need to put it on another console.
Oh.
It makes no. At that point, if you got a console, that means you have a smart TV. So
yeah, exactly. If you put on smart TVs, why?
Yeah, that does the job for them. It would not be necessary to be on a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch. Once xCloud goes to TVs and they release their streaming sticks and this shit's on fully available on iOS, you do not need to go on a PlayStation or Nintendo Switch because you would literally be everywhere. The best you can do after that point is make deals, bundling deals with cell phone providers and cable providers, and you're set.
They already have the Samsung partnership too.
Yeah. So, but I think that's the podcast, guys. Any questions before we get out of here? Any questions?
I don't got anything.
From our longtime viewers, shout out to the 130 plus people that came through today.
Yeah, who in the chat got a question?
Questions. I know we saw Grinds My Gears was in here earlier. We have
Jazz.
Who?
No, I said shout out to Jazz.
Jazz. I know. Seen Blade. I know Christopher Hurt was in there. I know he was popping shit, arguing with people.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was a warrior.
Console war fucking going on in the chat. I wasn't even paying attention to it.
Because when people were saying Chris, I thought they were talking about Righteous, but I was like, nah, they talking about Heart. Emmanuel A1, shout out to you, bro. He said, what game would you like to see FSR on the most? Honestly, is there any Ashy games right now that could use like some sort of visual fidelity boost?
Halo Infinite.
Oh, Returnal. Oh my god, that shit needs it. All that other there's too much artifacting and fucking oh my god. I don't get what that game was doing. But
What
yeah,
if
Returnal would be my one.
They found a way, right, to apply this shit to FPS boost games so they can get their X resolution back.
Oh yeah. That
So they
or
can,
like Halo.
So they can keep
120.
the resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the resolution and increase frame rates, like double them.
For me personally, but this wouldn't be FSR because it's Nvidia, but all of the fucking Nintendo games, I want DLSS on them with increased performance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Shadow of the Nexus said a good thing. Cyberpunk. Yeah, Cyberpunk would be good for FSR. They're working on the next gen patch. I don't know if they would implement it now, but if they do in between that time, because of how easy it is, it'll be pretty huge for both the consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Yeah, we did miss the topic that the Cyberpunk is now back on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, because they finally
I don't know if anybody saw the tweet that they put out, but they literally, it was like, I feel like it was a smack in the face to anybody that still had a regular PS4, because they're like, yeah, this game is basically, I mean, if you're playing on PS4 Pro and PS4 5, you'll probably be in good shape.
PS4 5.
PlayStation 4, it's like they literally recommended if you own a PS4 to not play the game. It almost kind of felt like they accepted defeat and like basically said,
because they literally,
bro, that's CD Projekt's Red's fault. They the one who fucked up the game on the next-gen console.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like,
no, I was gonna say, so Sony is literally telling people, it's like, yeah, we're letting the game back on the store, but just to let you know, if you're running this game on a base PS4, it still has a lot of issues and stuff like that. Well, and we recommend that you either play it on the Pro or the PS5 for the best experience. So they're being like honest with that, because they're still letting the game that's still broken, even like 9 months later, whenever it came out, on PlayStation and shit like that. So they gotta warn their users.
Well, that's not what Sony said. That's what CD Projekt Red said. So Sony just put out a thing and said it's out there. CD Projekt Red's the one that said don't play it on PS4.
To get it playable in a respectable sense on the PS4, they had to evacuate the NPCs off the game.
That's what I heard. I heard that they
there's less NPCs on the PS4 version, Xbox One version.
Shout out to Don Otaku, who says, Kid Smooth, what do y'all think about the push for cloud native games coming from Xbox? I'm not a fan of that shit, but I'm hearing that's in association with you guys' favorite what's his name? Death Stranding guy. Kojima. He's supposed to be headlining this new cloud native game. I don't know if that's another conspiracy, but I'm not a fan of...
I just looked that up, and Sony did issue that same warning. CDPR did issue that warning, but PlayStation has a similar warning. They say it's not recommended on PS4.
Oh, okay. I just went off of what.
When has there ever been a video game that hasn't been recommended on a console? That's bad, bro.
It's like they should at least find a way to maybe block the sales for the PS4 version.
Dope as J help.
What they did when they took it off,
but I don't think they can. Like I'm saying, like on the store.
Dope as J help.
Well, no, yeah, I get that.
Help me with this question from Shadow of the Nexus, because I'm not sure if I even heard about this, but Shadow of the Nexus says, what do you think of Halo Infinite only being 60 FPS on Series S and not 120 FPS? Did they confirm that it wasn't getting 120 FPS?
I haven't seen anything like that. I can double check that right now for you.
Nah, it's gonna be 120 on.
I mean, it is, but that's just probably gonna be like
Master Chief is 120.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's a first party game though, bro. It's different. Anyways.
Yeah, Master Chief is managing 120 on Series S, the collection. But see,
I see what he's talking about. They never mentioned Series S for that mode.
Okay. Well, there you have it. So what do I think of it? I'm not sure. I played majority on the Series X. So, but the Series S still has a lot more games at 120 frames per second than the PS5. So that's still a... I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there. But it still has a decent amount of games running at 120 frames per second. And they'll continue to get some...
That's true. That's factual.
Series S, baby.
But I could say other things that are factual too, but we're not gonna get into it.
Come on, let's get some fire in here.
Nah, we go.
We haven't had a good rant. Let's get some rant. Let's get going.
Nick lit it on fire last week when he said Ratchet and Clank was double A.
Nick,
I got something for Dope Boy.
I don't want to talk. Let's not open up that wound again.
Nick sent me to bed last week, bro.
Hey, look, man. I was about to say it earlier, and I'm gonna say it, man. I'm not gonna hold back, man. Chris, don't hold me back. Insomniac is overrated, bro.
Damn, guy, here we go.
Oh,
no, I'm only gonna say that. Bro. Hold on. It was a bunch of people on Twitter saying that they was the best developers because they got Ratchet and Clank out on time. Then you got one of the developers that was out there damage controlling. Talking about because you can walk through trees and all that. We only had a small amount of time and all. Like, yo, like these dudes, man. Look, let me just say this, bro.
I will say
Naughty Dog is the best developers they got. It's not Insomniac. They only were great until they got to Spider-Man, and that's a fact. Like, nobody was really checking. Yeah, it was hitting a couple numbers and all that, you know.
Bro, we're really gonna have this conversation. We just had the same conversation.
Sunshit Overdrive, you know, like these games. Bro, I don't know.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before Spider-Man came out, nobody was like, "Damn, when's the next Insomniac games coming out?"
They didn't even buy Xbox because of Sunset Overdrive. They didn't support it because if the PlayStation community actually supported it, it would have sold more than 500,000 the first week. Like they didn't. Like that's
it wasn't
real.
that. It was because people weren't supporting Xbox at that time.
Yeah, I know, but why not?
Xbox was the villain at that time. So even
it's
if they
all
had
about
Insomniac,
the platform.
People were still like, "No, Xbox is yucky. No, we don't want Xbox."
Yeah, and that's bad. Like, and that's showing you what that community is about. They don't really care about Insomniac. If they really cared about Insomniac, it wouldn't matter where the game released. They would support
but
them.
You can't say that now because their games are fucking selling like crazy and they're being
because it's only on PlayStation. Like it just shows you that they would buy a game.
Did they
only if it's
speaking of sales? Did they come out and do like a press release on Ratchet and Clank sales, like record breaking sales, in like the next because usually after
but they did say that the sales were higher the second week than it was the first week.
That's weird.
It was.
That's my point.
They said the only thing because we're only going on like third. They say they're breaking records. They're saying that it was number one sales or whatever. And in the UK, the second week it broke records in the UK the first week, and then the second week the sales went higher, but it was only higher by like 2% or some shit like that. So it wasn't that much higher, but it went higher. So we might see a similar situation. I think it's going to be happening with a lot of these games because, like, since like the PS5 and Series X is hard to come by and shit like that, we're going to see a situation where it's like we're going to be seeing games, have legs because when more people starts to buy them, more people are going to pick them up and shit like that. It's the same thing what's going on with Miles Morales. Miles Morales is still like within the top 10 like every month.
Yeah, Miles Morales had poor launch sales, but it picked up as more people got PS5 and they started to attach it really, really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guerrilla Games better. All right.
But Ratchet and Clank is fire. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, especially people who don't play them.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that after the podcast.
Oh man. Oh, by the way, y'all see Dope Boy, he exposing himself for being a PC guy. He got a PC shirt on, every goddamn thing.
No. I'm actually mocking the PC community right now because they can't get any graphics cards. They can't get shit, so I'm just mocking them with this t-shirt. So any of these PCMR kids that's inside here, GG to you.
You fanboying right now.
I'm not a fanboy. I can get my Xbox t-shirt right now.
PCMR.
I'm gonna say what somebody said in the chat to Chris. Dope Boy is an educated capper.
Oh no! Emmanuel said Chris is an educated capper.
Yes.
Hey, listen, baby.
Damn.
I can sell sand to a beach. All right.
All right, but we out of here though. We appreciate you guys coming through. It's been a great episode. Check out Dope Boy. Dope is J You throw your channel in the chat. Once again, you got an awesome video on the new LG HDMI 2.1 monitor. Obi and Logan, also, you watch channel. Are you doing daily content there? So I've watched a couple of videos from you.
Groove going on. But I haven't done daily content, but I've done a couple of videos. I got some stuff in the that's gonna be coming out this week too.
Awesome. And if you want to hear the sound of the back of NickBanks' throat, join the Xbox Live party we were in when he's drinking water.
Oh.
You're funny.
And he's like,
Damn.
oh man. But we appreciate you guys. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am.
You ain't gonna shout out my channel, Smooth?
Oh yeah,
man,
my bad.
Forget about the pony
My
chat.
bad.
I'm making content. I haven't made
Yeah,
content.
he's actually been making content though. That's the thing.
No, I know. No. So my
He
last
just started
video,
last
my last
month.
video is still the Square Enix rap, but
How much views you got on that now?
it's like 1.2 or 1.3 or some shit like that. But I'm definitely.
Oh, congrats.
I'm doing the Final Fantasy VII the DLC review. I'm doing a review on that. I'm also going to be talking about the sequel to Breath of the Wild because Zelda, that's like my second favorite series ever. Like I love
Facts.
like it's crazy how next year the console with the least hardware features and like the console with the weakest hardware is gonna have Game of the Year 2022. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it, but
Dude, crazy.
but
all those games coming out next year.
I love Zelda, bro. I've been diving deep in like all the conspiracies and the theories that's going on surrounding like the trailer and shit like that, and I'm fucking ecstatic about the sequel. So more so than any other PlayStation game, for real. But yeah, other than that, man, y'all can check me out and shit like that. But yeah, another great episode with the guys, man. My Xbox bros, and and who knows, man? Maybe I'm feeling, maybe when that Forza 5 or some shit comes out, maybe or Halo or something like that.
Pull salty, man. Get yourself an
Maybe
Xbox.
maybe I'll make Papa Series X, right? Maybe.
Yeah,
just,
Hey, Chris,
maybe
you
this
know
winter.
what? You don't
Maybe
have
this
to
winter.
get gold to play Halo Infinite. You can just buy you an Xbox Series S and just play it for free. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be just a Game Pass machine for like the exclusives. When I
You
get
know what I
one.
mean?
Hey, it gotta start.
All the Yakuza games
start
you want,
somewhere.
you know?
I mean, but yeah, that's true. I got the entire and Judgment's going in Game Pass. They teased it by adding him to the list of all Game Pass characters, and then they scratched him out and said, "Oops." Game Pass.
You talking about Judgment 1?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Judgment 1 or 2 that they're putting him in there, unless the guy's only in one of the games. Isn't he in both games? I don't know which one is going to be, but I would.
He is in both games. Has Judgment came out on Game Pass before?
No.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. They're probably gonna drop. If Judgment 2 comes on Game Pass day one, that's gonna be a shocker to me. I was like, holy shit, like they ain't fucking around. But what they're probably gonna do is drop Judgment 1 on Game Pass to get people excited for Judgment 2 because it is releasing day one on Xbox. So
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So we'll see when that happens. But yeah, man. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace.